Welcome back to the channel, or welcome to the channel if it's your first time here. If it is, hit that like button down below and get subscribed. I'd appreciate it. We got another Stew on Head video today. We got Is America Okay? Let's go. Hello world.
Hello friends, my name is Stew on Head, and welcome to my new series, The Hell World Report. Some of you may remember my old series.
Did I misread that? I did.
And welcome to my new series, The Hell World Report. Some of you may remember my old
fully
series
misread that.
Called Hell World. If you do, you can qualify for a veterans discount. Congratulations! And if you remember the Gamergate days, well, please come collect your retirement.
I've been following, but not as long as the Hell World series, apparently, when I thought I saw an O in there and thought it was Hello World.
But yeah, if you have not seen my old series, go check it out. I'll put the link to the playlist down below. I think it's a really interesting time capsule into the years 2020 and 2021, like how crazy it was back then, and then in retrospect comparing it to how crazy it is now. But this is a shorter, more condensed version of that series. Think of it as a Temu, Jon Stewart, or Stephen Colbert before they morphed into the same flavor of shitlib. You see, I'm better than those late night Jimmies because I don't get my news from mainstream sources like some kind of hack. No. I get them from far more reputable places like Instagram Reels and Femboy Groiper69 on Twitter. From furry ballrooms and the Epstein files to OnlyFans green cards and kidnapping foreign leaders, from government-funded purple-haired girlfriends to a potential civil war, we have a very packed show for you today. It has been a crazy year, and it is only January. As I am filming this, we are currently having a huge winter storm.
This morning, snow, ice, and frigid temperatures sweeping across the nation. 20 states under a state of emergency.
Ah yes, perfect weather to make some poor immigrant deliver me chicken tendies.
Yeah, apparently that winter storm was more than 20 states. It was about 24 of the 48 in the continent United States. Alaska obviously is always cold. And Hawaii, if it ever becomes cold, we got other issues to deal with.
It's so cold that Michigan and Minnesota received reports about exploding trees. Leftists said no more ice, and God said...
Okay.
Anyway, in
exploding
news
trees.
That stayed in 2016. Apparently there is...
Yeah, I'd heard about those exploding trees, and I thought people were joking, making jokes, and then I just saw a guy using, like, I think it was a trail cam, and you just see the tree... open itself up essentially and then start falling over because I guess it got too weak. Because, damn! Well, you know it's cold when the trees are freezing.
There's a new term women have coined called man-keeping. Man-keeping is why women are done with dating. Researchers at Stanford have finally given a name to something many women have been dealing with for years. It's called man-keeping, and it's helping explain why so many women are stepping away from dating altogether.
Is this just the same thing as a guy having a roster of girls who he likes to have sex with? And this is just a girl having a roster of guys, but not wanting to call it that because it makes her sound like a whore?
Man-keeping describes the emotional labor women end up doing in heterosexual relationships. It goes beyond remembering birthdays or coordinating social plans. It means being your partner's one-man support system, managing his stress, interpreting his moods, holding his hand through feelings he won't share with anyone else.
And the man does nothing for you in the return, huh? Nothing! X'd it out.
Unpaid, unacknowledged, and often unreciprocated. I hate this therapy speak people talk with nowadays. Emotional labor? You mean being there for your partner? This is why so many people are just gonna start dating ChatGPT. People thought men were gonna be the ones dating AI. No. They're gonna be the ones with these sex robots. Women are the ones who want the daily affirmation machines. Yes, honey, I love when you talk about all the drama at work. Tell me more about that bitch Veronica. Man-spreading, mansplaining, man-interrupting, man-keeping, manscaping. Speaking of manscaping, before we dive into the news, let's quickly give a shout out to today's sponsor, a sponsor that can help you with your manscaping, Henson Shaving. For the last few...
come on, that would have been a much better opportune time for the other shaving company that actually is called Manscaped. Come on! You literally had them open. Oh wow, she's got 2 ads here, I think. Yeah. Oh, no. It's just a... Okay. No, just one ad.
The median age of home buyers is now 59.
Ouch. Ouch. Thanks, Biden. Let me just pause it on yeah, starting in 2021 when that just exploded, because we had that little drop in 2020 to 21 when interest rates went to 0. And then Biden entered office, and we went from the average age of owning a home at like 48 to 59. Thanks, Biden. Thank you for that. Thank you just for that, of allowing me to potentially never own a home unless all of a sudden money just falls into my lap.
59. But that's not all.
Thanks, Democrats. You fucked us all.
$6,000 bonus exemption as part of the Working Families Tax Cut. That's $93 billion in tax cuts for seniors all over the country.
Which is great, because there are a lot of poor seniors who have nothing. But, on the contrary, just as many that are poor, there are as many that are rich and wealthy.
And by Working Families Tax Cut, they mean you, the working family, giving another billion-dollar wealth transfer to the most oppressed class. Boomers. Why are we giving these geriatric f***s another tax break? Maybe they should pull themselves up by their bootstraps. Maybe they should stop buying so much avocado toast. God forbid we help young families raise the next generation of Americans. No, that would be communism. Young people are poor as f*** nowadays. What are they supposed to do?
Piper Raquel, 18, claims she made
Good Lord. At what point are we just going to start claiming that the men who are subscribing to these 18-year-old day ones are just pedophile pluses?
$2.9 million in a single day after launching OnlyFans.
No more rights. No more women's rights. I am ready.
We're repealing the 19th immediately.
For the Islamic Revolution. Mayor Memdani, please press the Islamification button. I know the go-to joke
Maybe
is
not right away.
Women, am I right? But I think the real question here is, should men be allowed to have credit cards? This woman didn't magically create millions of dollars with her mind out of thin air. No. Millions.
No, it's women shouldn't be allowed on the internet anymore, honey. That's what I really think it should be down to. Because if all of a sudden women aren't on the internet, there are no women for men to perv over. And then there are no more $2.9 million in one day girls.
The men made this woman a millionaire overnight. Where's the accountability for that? I'm out here policing the whores.
And every man who sent her $1 or more, okay, a penny or more, you deserved to lose your money. Because you're pretty stupid for thinking that, she turned 18 yesterday. She's got a whole bunch of nudie pictures on her OF now. Let's go make her a $2.9 million girl in one day. You guys are stupid.
We need some men to be out there policing the simps. We have a simp epidemic. Simps are out of control. Not all of them, though. Mine are cool. They can stay. Also, isn't this like the third OnlyFans 18th birthday announcement? And the woman turns into a millionaire overnight?
Yeah, it happens a lot.
About that.
It's more than 3. There's probably a lot more that we don't know about that it just happens to, and they stay quiet.
Right, thanks to AI, we are entering a new age of goonerism.
Oh yeah, the uncanny, creepy AIs. Where it's a guy doing all the facial features,
what's the big deal? Men
and now it's a woman.
To the guys in India who run the accounts of OnlyFans models. Is this really any different? The internet is slowly but surely...
Yeah, literally. All those Indian guys who are running all the OnlyFans models chats, all they have to do is create themselves some kind of AI face overcut, and then they can start doing the chats themselves. Get a couple different voice changers. Get a few other little things that won't cost them all that much at all. And then they could be making as much as the people that are paying them to run their chats.
Just becoming Indian men scamming other Indian men. But don't worry, not every internet waifu is a man using AI. In fact, if you live in the UK, you may get a state-funded, far-right, purple-haired waifu.
Introducing Amelia.
Pathways, a point-and-click video game created by the UK government to help prevent online radicalization.
Pathways
Yeah,
is an
they
educational
fucked
visual
up
novel
so
and learning
badly in
experience
this
created by
one.
the UK media company Shout Out UK, with funding from UK government's Prevent program run by the Home Office. The game is meant to teach the youth about dangers of radicalization and extremism in both real life and online. This is done by putting the players in a role of a character named Charlie, who must navigate 6 different scenarios relating to extremism. In the second scenario, the player is introduced to the character Amelia, a staunch anti-immigration protester depicted as a goth girl with purple hair, a pink dress, and a choker.
And the
You know, they tried to design her like a liberal, except they made her the right-wing conservative girl. And that's where they fucked up. It's because a lot of the right-wing guys like some of the looks that some of the liberal girls have. They like some of the, the little differences that you guys do have. However, we don't like your politics, so we can't get a foot in the door. Now, all of a sudden, you got a right-wing character who's already there, and then she's got the looks on top of it. And even though she's just a fucking cartoon designed by the British government to make you think the exact opposite, hilarious, they can't do anything for you. And she is this crazy, awesome individual who it's like, oh, well, how about that? Now we have the perfect symbol to rally behind.
internet instantly fell in love with her.
Yep. AI reigned supreme.
It's like they made her have short purple hair thinking that would prevent this from happening. But the UK failed to consider the fact that conservatives love art hoes. They act like they don't.
Yeah.
They pretend they just want a blonde traditional housewife, but deep down every conservative wants a woman who looks like this, who says the N-word. Government-funded video games. Incredible. At least our government doesn't do weird shit like that. No, our government is very normal. Believe it or not, Mar-a-Lago Furry Party was on my 2026 bingo card. I miss when this weird shit was just done underground. I miss when these parties were secret. Speaking of, the Epstein files were released. Wow. Incredible. The things they are showing us are eerie enough. I couldn't imagine the things that they're redacting. It is absolutely disgusting that these powerful people are
Oh, whoops, my mic was muted again. Like I said, and the difference is here, they're blocking all the files out that are, and then Mr. Epstein walked from this place to that place. And then he sat down. And then he sat down. And then he stood up. And then he sat back down. I guess he was a little nervous. That's what all the redactions must be. There's nothing dirty in there.
still being protected. We as a country should be extremely concerned about an international child trafficking ring. This is not just something we all move from and we kidnapped the president of Venezuela.
Breaking just now, Maduro.
Well, he wasn't the president. They tried to vote him out, but he stayed behind as a dictator. So, we don't like those too much.
The president says has been captured.
Maduro has been captured and flown out of the country.
In total, more than 150 aircraft, bombers, fighters, intelligence, reconnaissance, surveillance, rotary wing were in the air last night.
And what's even crazier is we had that amount of force in Venezuela. Over in sitting just south of Iran right now, we have about 2 carrier strike groups. Also in the region, just to different bases around the area, we've flown like nearly 800 total aircraft into the region. It is absolutely insane the amount of forces we have over there right now. We are ready to enter Iran and fuck shit up immediately. And I hope we run in and do it just like Venezuela. We zip in, we fuck shit up, we maybe grab Khomeini and drop him in the road, and then we just come back home and say we couldn't find him. And then all of a sudden, he's found dead the next morning. I don't know how that happened. It's not like our Delta Force guys came in and just dropped him in a group of protesters who were mad at him or anything. No, that would never happen.
Pictures of Nicolas Maduro on the Iwo Jima that he was being transferred on.
Trump voters voted to fix the economy and to afford homes again. They didn't vote to kidnap communists.
Yeah, but we got a bunch of oil, which will help fix our economy, so we're doing it in a roundabout way.
In the middle of the night? Actually, they probably did vote for that. Never mind.
The oil companies are going to go in, they're going to spend money, we're going to take back the oil that, frankly, we should have taken back a long time ago.
Holy shit. This is the most transparent administration in history. They weren't lying. I don't know if it's the Stockholm Syndrome or what, but it's almost refreshing to hear a leader say, yeah, this is about oil. Like, thank you, sir. Thank you for just saying it's about oil. Thank you for not pretending it's about saving democracy and just doing imperialism the old...
I mean, most Venezuelans love the fact that we did this, so...
old-fashioned way. We have such terrible Middle Eastern war fatigue that it was shocking to not hear about how Venezuela is just jealous of our freedoms or some shit. Like, no, it's just for ExxonMobil. Like, okay.
Not just for ExxonMobil, for the benefit of the United States.
Carry on.
The US used a powerful mystery weapon that brought Venezuelan soldiers to their knees, bleeding through their nose, and vomiting blood during the daring raid to capture dictator Nicolas Maduro.
Yeah, if you're wondering why we don't have healthcare, this is why.
Don't you know, Shu? As the United States, we just be building shit. It's kind of our thing.
We have invisible laser beams that can make people bleed out their f***ing eyes. Apparently, directed energy weapons are real. The Goy beam is real. Deep state
We knew they were real.
Havana syndrome is real. Hell, it's almost like being a conspiracy theorist is just another word for being correct
Oops,
too early.
my mic
What's
unmuted.
next? COVID was fake?
There have been significant developments in the last 5 to 7 years on social, environment, and technology fronts that could help realize My Carbon initiatives for shaping the future towards smart and sustainable cities. COVID-19 was the test of social responsibility. A huge number of unimaginable restrictions for public health were adopted by billions of citizens across the world. There were numerous examples globally of maintaining social distancing, wearing masks, mass vaccinations, and acceptance of contact tracing applications for public health, which demonstrated the core of individual social responsibility.
And we just accepted that from the party that told us, trust the science! We gotta trust the science, guys! You believe what the experts are saying, even though the experts say you should cut off your own penis, and then you can be a woman.
Sorry.
No, actually, no.
Many people, many apologies. Anyway, Venezuela has no president. Who is going to run Venezuela?
They have a leader. It was their second in command. The one who was supposed to take power.
So we are going to run the country.
A few
Partly.
moments later.
Hola amigos, yo soy su nuevo presidente, el señor Donaldo.
I love this video.
Can we maybe just fix our country first? Can we fix our broken infrastructure, our education system? Can we do a little nation building in this nation? Can a bitch get a little regime change in our own country, please? And you know
we did. We got rid of the Biden crime family.
American nation building comes refugees. So who is gonna take in these Venezuelan refugees? Are we?
We have been, honey. They have sent the second most amount of refugees out of their nation, second to only Syria.
Only the hot ones, apparently.
United States increasingly issuing work visas to OnlyFans models based on level of audience reach, according to the Financial Times.
Imagine...
And what's even funnier about that is the liberals don't like that OnlyFans models are coming into the country and taking their jobs. What does that... I'm just going to leave that one there.
Being an immigrant from like some poor country, working your ass off to get a work visa in the United States, when all you had to do was bend over and show hole. Big booty Latinas to the front, tortas to the back.
If you're a 9, you're fine. If you're 8, we can have a debate. Thanks, Alex Stein.
Anyway, not boo-boo, my president can kidnap your president. We're invincible. We can regime change anyone we want. Who's next? Canada, Greenland, Cuba?
Why not all 3?
Cuba's literacy rates are higher than ours. Maybe they should come liberate our dumbasses. Kids are swiping on books. But f it, the Don Road Doctrine, baby. Let's go, America is back. Dick Cheney is looking up at us smiling.
You just wait for Cuba.
Cuba, Colombia, Greenland. We might just slip and steal Canada while we're on our way to Greenland.
Cuba is a
It wouldn't take very long.
dictatorship. Their days are
True.
numbered.
Trump, listen to me. Wait, Trump doesn't watch this shit. Vance, listen to me. Get people.
All you can do is think of JD Vance watching, but not JD Vance as you think. JD Vance as you think in the meme with the curly crazy hair. That's the JD that's watching your shoe. He's always watching, and you shouldn't be so excited about it.
Like Lindsey Graham, far away from anyone in power right now. This little Venezuela stuff.
I actually agree with that one. Lindsey Graham doesn't need to be in power anymore.
No more.
He doesn't need to be anywhere near it.
We all have Middle East fatigue. We are done. This whole thing really put into perspective.
Well, we have Middle East fatigue, except for we need to just free Iran and oust their dictator. Same thing we did with Venezuela, although we're not going to run anything. We're just going to oust him and leave. We're going to be like, all right, we got your dictator. Good luck. If you need us, don't ask for us. We don't want to come back. But if you really do want us to run things, I guess we'll have to.
Just how weird it was that we were there like for 20 years. You mean we could have just been in and out in a few hours? I guess those poppy
we
fields
could have.
couldn't maintain themselves though. Anyway.
But yeah, Venezuelans across the world are happy about this.
Yeah, sorry, excuse me. But did you forget to check in with Lilith, the barista from Bushwick, and see how she feels about this?
Trump said the United States will be running Venezuela! Whoa! A colony! Whoa!
I'm glad she's so excited for this.
Imperialism! All for what? So a fucking multinational corporation can get profit!
Wrong. They're going in, the multinational corporation is going to go in there and set up the infrastructure, and then the U.S. is going to pay them the amount they set up and say, get out of our oil area, it's ours now. It's for the U.S., honey. You need to do your facts before you put your face on the internet and look stupid.
You know what's funny is I basically said the exact same thing this person said, but I said it less loudly. She has a nose ring and I don't, so I'm right and she's wrong. End of story. I guess this is just what happens when you dismantle the soft power of things like USAID. We're no longer doing secret regime change operations behind the scenes. Now we're just
doing them in front.
Kidnapping other world leaders in the dead of night. And just
Wasn't
saying
a leader.
It's about oil, which honestly.
You know he only got 10% of the votes out of the entire country. He lost 90-10, and then he refused to give up his power.
Honestly kind of makes me believe it's not about oil. They're never that blatant, right? I mean, what could it be? Like, Israel isn't behind this one, right?
The implications here are really great for the
I mean, you can't believe this man at all.
The Venezuelan people.
Oh, God damn it. You know, people say I have Israel derangement syndrome, but I'm sorry, I can't help it when they get on TV and say shit like this.
No, it's difficult to hear, but
Israel can't at the same time be controlling everything and need every dollar of our taxes to help them out. There is no way that both can be true.
it's time.
They either need all our help because they're so helpless that they'll be eliminated without us, or they're controlling everything.
I mean that we need to control the platforms, all the social platforms. We need to stack rank the authenticity of every person that expresses themselves online.
That sounds like censorship.
And take control over what they are saying based on that ranking.
The government.
The government should
control social media.
Yeah.
That's censorship, buddy. You can't do
They
that.
should do that.
Try explaining that to someone without showing them the video. Go ahead. Yeah, there's a Jewish billionaire named Shlomo who wants to control the internet. Like, okay man, you're in too deep. No more Instagram reels for you. Anyway, you should have just let us play video games. Now we're perp walking the president of Venezuela down the streets of New York City. But hey, leftists, just think of it this.
That was so funny. They didn't just like perp walk him around the streets. They stuck him in the back of one of their paddy wagons and they just drove it around certain areas where protesters were, specifically to make them upset. It was so funny.
By bombing and kidnapping instead of just doing the usual covert psyops, we saved maybe, what, $1 billion? $1 billion
$1 trillion.
that could go to other, more important things, like defense contractors' stock buybacks and empty Somalian daycares, apparently.
Yeah, there's a lot of fraud, honey. You gonna discuss that one?
YouTuber Nick Sher.
I hate that they introduced him like that. Everybody tried to attack Nick like this because he is a threat to mainstream media in everything they stand for if they don't try to smear him off the bat. Calling him mega YouTuber, just the online journalist, the independent journalist. It's like those are the things they were calling him when it's just Nick Shirley, just a dude who found another guy who's like, hey, there's a bunch of fraud here. You want to help me come uncover it? And then Nick's like, yeah, what you got? And then his buddy David's like, hey, there are these daycares that have no kids in them. You want to go check out a bunch of them? And then in one day, they uncovered $110 million of most likely fraudulent daycare centers and healthcare facilities as well. There were buildings with just a ton of places that were like, oh, this is a healthcare facility, even though we only have one room. And there's 12 facilities in here. Huh? No.
Back at a daycare in Minnesota, he alleged was a fraudulent facility in a now viral video. Shirley tries to open locked doors and talk to people at very...
Poor choice of thing. He never tried opening the doors. He did one single, boop. Oh, it's locked. He didn't, let me in. He, gave it a knock or gave the door one singular tug and none of them opened.
These daycares he claims are frauds.
The point is that blacked out doors, they can't give you any information. You call that number, no one answers.
It's not like Nick Shirley was the first person to expose this either, but now it exploded. And the fallout has been bizarre, to say the least. The funniest part had to be when the infamous Luring Center claimed to have been broken into the night this all went viral.
Unfortunately, we saw that there was important documentation, enrollment of the children, and also employee documentation that was gone.
So you're saying that the same guy who has no more documentation also is their sign is off the door and they have a U-Haul out front moving stuff out. Well, how about that? Do you think you had a legitimate center, or do you think this was all fraud? You tell me. I'll just give you the facts here, the videos.
There were also checkbooks that were ripped from...
Oh, so if a check from the Quality Leering Center comes out to someone, it's probably fraudulent now.
Our check papers that were ripped from our book.
Our check papers? You mean checks that were ripped from your checkbook?
And stole all the paperwork we needed to prove we are a legit operation. Please ignore my suspicious exact paperwork we need to prove we are a legit operation shaped belly. Listen, no hate to the Somalians, but when my family came here 100 years ago, we did organized crime the right way. We would have had Tim Walls and cement shoes at the bottom of Lake Superior.
Oh yeah, Tim Walls. But back with the founding fathers, Tim Walls would have been challenged to a duel by Samuel Jackson, or Andrew Jackson. Jesus, when Sam Houston and Andrew Jackson are friends, you tend to make that name and mess it up a lot, because Sam Jackson exists. But yeah, if Andrew Jackson was alive at the same time as Tim Walls, he would have challenged him to a duel and shot Tim Walls right in the head.
This is just sad. This is cartoonishly pathetic. Listen, nobody is going to want to support government programs if they think it's all going to like this. If you want
exactly. This fraud revealing, along with events that had happened in my personal life over the last year, have made me realize we don't really need these government programs anymore. If you need food or something, you don't need an EBT card. You go down to your local church that you're attending and you say, hey, is there a food pantry here? I'm in need and could use some extra food. And then you go down and you select a few items, or you get a box they give you. And then you say, thank you, I appreciate the food. Because, hey, you're in need and you're going to take whatever the fuck you can get. We shouldn't need any health programs for that kind of thing. In fact, you could take all these social programs that do for Section 8 housing and food stamps, and you could roll that in, and we could have enough money in this country for universal health care.
Support a welfare state. You have to make sure that welfare is actually going to real things that help real people. Listen, it's already hard enough to convince a right-wing audience that there's more to leftism than Reddit and butt sex. Now I have to convince them the wealth redistribution I advocate for isn't all going to Somalian welfare pirates. Thanks.
It is. 18 to 19 billion dollars of it did. And some of that was federal tax dollars that were sent into these states. It's happening across several different states in many different cities, and I guarantee you we've only scratched the fucking surface of the fraud.
Should be spent on more important things like New Gaza. That's right, the World Economic Forum and Jared Kushner are proud to...
And nothing is ever going to happen to Gaza. If anything does happen, terrorists will try to rise back up and go, "We've been bombed and nothing. We're going to attack Israel again because Israel did this and it's their fault." And then they're going to get bombed even heavier and have absolutely nothing until Israel just goes, "Hey, we tried to give you this stretch of land, and you fucked up repeatedly. We're going to take it back, bulldoze everything, and just turn the whole thing into Israel." And that's what's going to happen. Not that I want it to happen. I would love to have, a little Palestinian area peacefully existing next to the Israeli area just to its north. That would be the ideal stretch of land there. But I don't think it's going to ever happen.
New Gaza. Yes, the demolition project is finally complete, folks. Time to build a Sweet Green and a f***ing Deloitte branch on top of the bodies of thousands of dead children. Hell is not hot enough, ladies and gentlemen. Hell is not hot enough. Anyway.
Yes, Hamas is such an evil group to have lured thousands to their deaths.
Because of all this fraud stuff, Tim Walz is stepping down, which is sad to see because...
Not just stepping down, he has his own words, "I will never run for another political office again."
He has to be one of my favorite
He is
characters.
never
Modern America lore.
going to
the
be
first white male
in
DEI hire,
power
the last
again.
White dude for Kamala Harris. A dying breed. But hey, maybe this marks an official end to the Kamala Harris era, and we can move on and focus on rebuilding the Democratic Party to something more.
Harris stepping toward another White House.
Yep, I heard about that, and it's going to be another hilarious defeat if she is the candidate again. I think if they try to put her as the next candidate again, because Trump won't be her opponent, she won't get the votes that are, "I'm only voting for her because she's not Trump." Because I lost count how many times I heard that, "Well, at least she's not Trump," is literally how some people voted in this last election, because they had such a high level of Trump derangement syndrome that they just couldn't let it get past their head to be like, "Hey, that person was obviously the person that was in charge for 4 years, because hell knows Biden wasn't that person who was actually running things. It was somebody else behind the scenes. I would presume her. And that's only because her policies were literally identical to what was already implemented."
Run.
No. We are not doing this. No. I swear to God, the Democratic Party is like an...
Hey, I know, we can get Kamala Harris as the Democrat presidential candidate, and her VP candidate can be Jasmine Crockett. We'll have the smartest Democrat ticket ever.
Old friend addicted to
No, we
heroin or
won't.
something. You want to help them, you do everything you can to help them, but they don't listen. They keep doing stupid f***ing things and hurting themselves. But you just can't give up on them. You can't. You want to see them get better. You know deep down
They
could
can't
be
get
how
better.
They used to.
They can't get better. They need to be put down like a dog. A rabid animal. They need to be put down like that. Sorry, it sounds harsh, but that party is fallen.
But it's hopeless. And all your other friends keep saying to you, just forget them. Just forget them, it's not worth it. Come hang out with us instead. But those friends are on crack. Those friends are on crack cocaine. But this Minneapolis fraud thing is looking pretty bad for Tim Walz and the Democrats. People aren't just gonna forget about this. And an ICE officer just shot a woman in the face in Minneapolis.
You can hear the agents tell the woman.
They didn't shoot her in the face. She committed suicide by cop.
To get out of the car and approach the SUV, the woman then drives forward. That's when the shots are fired, the car crashing.
As I was writing this video, an innocent woman was picking her kids up from school when an ICE officer jumped.
Yeah, picking her kids up from school 2 states away! She didn't live in Minnesota!
In front of her car and randomly shot her in the face. Or an angry protester was blocking the road and tried to run
there you go.
Officer with her car, so he shot
That's the one. That's the one, because it's impossible for her kids to be going to school and for her to have just dropped them off if she lives in Missouri.
Depends on how you look at it. Depends on how you voted, apparently.
No, she's from Missouri. Her kids are in that state. In fact, she only had custody of 2 of them because there was allegations of abuse on the 3rd one, honey. Get all your facts straight before you make your video.
The way I see it, this woman was not trying to hit him. She was not trying to run him over.
She did disobey lawful orders of get out of your fucking car.
I think she was trying to drive away. And in an alternate universe,
you can't do that.
Car and she drives.
Switch it. It's not an ICE agent. It's a police officer who's telling her to get out of the car. Now she's driving away, committing felony fleeing/eluding, and a host of other crimes, like attempting to hit in this case, an agent, in my scenario, a police officer with her car. Like, there's a lot of scenarios here where you just swap it to police officer. If you can swap ICE agent for police officer, and now all of a sudden the person committed a crime, then they probably committed a crime against the ICE agent.
And it's easy to be like, oh, in hindsight, he should have done this, he should have done that. That's like so much of the discourse right now I'm seeing is just in hindsight this, in hindsight that. And it's easy for us to say in hindsight, you know, after the fact. It's easy to...
I had my decision made up pretty quick, but until I spoke on anything, I made sure I had all the angles. And there was one that came out after I spoke, but it didn't change anything. It just reconfirmed that I was that my opinion was on the right side of things, and that, yeah, she committed suicide by cop. She was impeding ICE agents all morning and afternoon. Her lesbian wife or partner tried to convince her to drive forward and ignore lawful orders to get out of the car.
Say he could have, he should have, but all he saw was a car revving up and going towards him. This has
exactly.
been one of the most insane
from his perspective, he can't even see.
It really all comes down
the
to
tires.
how you view ICE and police.
So all he heard was spinning
Many,
rubber.
Not all. Leftists view ICE as completely illegitimate. Same with the police. They want to abolish both. So you're not going to get a real unbiased conversation with those people. Because why the f should a protester respect ICE in the first place? And many, not all, conservatives tend to be complete and utter f***ing bootlickers, completely unable to criticize anything the police do.
And in that second case, to prove her wrong on that one, with the second one with Alex Peretti, I think the agent who shot him should be removed from his job. Maybe not like fully fired from ICE, but he pulled from active, arresting duty and maybe put on some books for a while to kind of curb his trigger finger. Maybe even send him to some training to learn, extra shooting courses so he can learn and have, there's a hostage here, or there's a person here who's fighting. And then to not shoot him in the head, maybe give the agents a non-lethal option instead of just a firearm. But like I was saying with the Alex Peretti one, the agent removed his, I think he removed his firearm, and then it was 1.5 seconds later that the first gun goes off. I'm not sure which weapon it is. I still don't have a good enough angle on that. But I do know that from every angle I've seen, it looks like at the time he was at least 1.5 seconds without his firearm in its holster, even though from other angles it looked like he was reaching for the holster and thus trying to reach for his gun, not realizing it might have been pulled off him. Other agents might not have realized the gun was off him. There was a very poor lack of communication in this entire scenario. But it just goes to show you to stop fighting with ICE agents. Get out of their way.
Police can do no wrong. Don't tread on me becomes tread harder, daddy, real fast. This is extremely aggravating discourse, and you should be questioning anyone who takes a really firm, hard stance either way and, like, can't fathom how the other side is seeing what they are seeing. The first episode of my...
Yeah, the second shooting with Alex, the saying I've picked up is it's lawful but awful. It should never have happened in any way. However, because it did happen, we look at all the facts and realize it is a lawful shooting. It's just awful that it happened.
Series was actually all about police brutality. It was all about police brutality towards innocent protesters. I was a little more ACAB-y back then. I was a little more libbed the f*** out back then. But hey, to be fair to me back then, that is what happens when you live in the sheltered suburbs of Long Island in your parents' basement versus having a kid and living in the city for 4 years. The police are a taxpayer-funded HR department for structural violence. They exist solely to protect the rights of private property. Yeah, we need more police. Police are good. Police are great. Give the police more guns. More guns. Give them more guns. Tanks. Tanks, even.
I would love to see the police be much more well armed. There are plenty of police body cam footage I watch where I'm like, these officers, they're like, I personally think every single patrol vehicle should have 2 officers. The guy driving and then some kind of partner, trainee, some other individual they're with. Whether it's a training officer who consistently is, having a new trainee, trained him up, and then gets a new one, and they're churning through trainees and they're getting them all trained well. That's a great way. Or if you're just, I don't want to train people. I just want a partner, someone who can have my back, and I don't have to worry about teaching them how to do things or on cases where I can actually take a breather, step back, and let them have the floor to control. I don't want to do that. I just want a partner. We're 50-50 on everything. We go through and we get our case and we finish it. That's kind of what I think. I think every department should have 2 officers per patrol vehicle so that every call you're on, you have backup. It does not matter if you're going to a house call because someone is asked for a welfare check. All right, cool. Now you got 2 of you in case things go south. Or in case, you walk in, it's a homicide. The killer's still in the house. He's heavily armed. And then all of a sudden, now you're calling in a bunch of police backup when maybe all it needed was the 2 of you. A guy to distract and a guy to come in behind.
My overall opinion is still basically the same. I'm very critical of the police. I am very pro First Amendment. Protesting is a fundamental American right, and we can't just go around labeling protesters domestic terrorists.
However, you can't use your First Amendment to restrict or obstruct another person's First Amendment.
That is an insane,
which is what a lot of these protesters are doing.
That, I promise you will come back to bite you in the ass. So good luck in 2028 when President Newsom knocks you up.
He actually might. He fucked his campaign manager's wife while they were both married. He was married to his wife. His campaign manager was, is married to campaign manager is married to his wife. And Gavin Newsom definitely fucked that whole relationship up.
Whoa, knocks you up. Whoa, what's going on here? Good luck in 2028 when President Newsom locks you up for protesting against mandatory forced feminization.
Yeah. And Newsom, after Nick Shirley's done with California, Newsom will be making like Tim Walz and running for the fucking hills.
Whatever the it is Democrats do. What do they do? Nothing. They do nothing.
They scam people and then lock them up for false claims.
Something pronoun.
Yeah, honey, you can't think of it. It's because you agreed with some of the things they did. That's absolutely fucked.
Like, God forbid the state ever turns me into Swiss cheese and the president's like, she was a radical leftist lunatic. The people called her Kami Mommy. Can you believe that, folks? Kami Mommy. And some people were like straight up mocking this woman, celebrating it. And then when people were like, what the fuck? They were like, well, you got Charlie Kirk, so now...
She also celebrated Charlie Kirk's death, honey. She celebrated it.
We got one of your guys. Is that
and no, that's not what we're making it even.
Killing each other back and forth? Is that what this is now? Like some kind of civil war? Who gets...
If the left keeps starting it, potentially.
Me and the national divorce. Hell yeah, 2 Christmases. Like, you agreed with me when I was upset about the reactions people had about Charlie Kirk, and then you're over here like, boo-hoo, she was a stupid libtard. Honestly, some of you just don't have morals. You have, like, temporary weapons you can use to bludgeon people you don't like when you have the chance. You and all the people who mock Charlie Kirk are all going in the pit, and you can come out when you learn how to be normal. In my opinion, a lot of focus on illegal immigration should go to the employers employing illegal immigrants for...
Oh, 100%. In fact, if I were the president today, I would put out a blanket statement across the nation. If you are an employer found hiring and paying illegal immigrants, you will be fined $1 million per illegal employee we find you with. That is a threat big enough for every employer to go, I don't want to pay millions of dollars. You're all fired. Get out. Go away. They might even call ICE on their own employees.
Cheaper scab labor. I feel like that's really important, and like, we're not doing that. It's kind of interesting that the government is focused so hard on immigration right now, but like, apparently hasn't made any...
I mean, I don't think it's funny that or find it, weird that they're focused so hard on immigration. It's literally the thing he brought up most when he ran. Trump ran on starting the largest mass deportation campaign in American history. I don't know why you're surprised by this.
Like, real actual legislative change to the laws.
And we're getting rid of a lot of pedophiles and rapists, so
work for now, but they have to be working on something more substantial, right? Well, Palantir, the company named after the evil crystal ball with the rings, right, is apparently working on a new tool for ICE. And what does it do? Oh, nothing really. Just creates a map of deportation targets, pulls up a dossier on them, and assigns them a confidence score. Because
hell yeah, get everybody who's illegal and get them out!
If there's one thing we can trust, it's a...
In fact, it would benefit them to not be taken advantage of by their local communities, by their employers, by maybe their landlord who's like, oh, you're illegal and you pay me in cash. I think you have to pay me more cash this month, otherwise ICE might show up at your door tomorrow.
Private Silicon Valley tech company's algorithm deciding who gets disappeared. Every single surveillance tool starts by simply protecting us. It's only gonna affect the baddies. But who are the baddies? Today it's illegal immigrants, tomorrow it's furries, next week it's people who are into feet, and before you know it, it's fans of VTubers. On second thought, I don't buy into the propaganda that simply enforcing border security, something every developed country has, is akin to Nazi Germany. Sorry, I don't. Build a wall? Hitler. Deport illegal immigrants? Hitler. Just kick out...
I mean, I don't know why people were like, oh, building a wall, that's so Hitler. You're the guy who took over after Hitler and for, half of Germany, built a wall around it. The guy after Hitler, the one we were allied with for part of that time. Because we're like, all right, we don't really like you, but you're going to help us take him out, so just kind of let's not attack each other for a minute and focus on him. Okay, we'll deal with each other later. And that's what we did. And then we had a Cold War.
The criminal ones, at least? Hitler. Like, there's no other option besides open borders that is acceptable to some people, and I don't get that.
Yeah, I don't get it, because they make checkpoints in their own city to check for ICE agents and make sure you're not an ICE agent entering their area. It's like, what did you just do, guys? Think about what you're doing.
I do get, however, is that people don't want to live under a Palantir police state, where people can't even film ICE agents without getting put on some kind of f***ing list. I feel like there has to be some kind of normal, sane option besides total free-for-all, globo-homo versus Peter Thiel, nightmare tech bro dystopia. Like, how is it not possible to just, like, be normal. But hey, it's cool the DHS created a portal where you can see all the people they have been deporting. One guy was deported back to Yugoslavia. Yugoslavia doesn't exist anymore. We sent that motherfucker back in time. Listen, what happened to Renee Good was a tragedy. It was terrible, but hopefully nothing like this ever happens again. And another person was shot by ICE in Minneapolis.
According to a preliminary Department of Homeland Security report, 2 Border Patrol agents discharged them.
Here. There. If I back it up, you might even hear the shot. All right. At this moment, the guy in the gray sweatshirt definitely has the gun in his hand, and Alex Preddy no longer is armed.
Agents discharged
1, 2. Right there. And like 1 and maybe a half seconds in there. And you hear that first gunshot.
their weapons, seen here in
Yeah. Whoops. I didn't mean to do that.
graphic cell phone video captured by eyewitnesses. 10 shots fired off in total in just seconds. Preddy pronounced dead on the scene.
To be absolutely clear.
And I do understand in that instantaneous moment, the agents, they hear a gun go off, and they're not actually sure if it's one of their agents or the guy they were just wrestling with. So understandable that he got shot so many times. But being a Second Amendment carrier, you already know, because you filled out all the paperwork and said, yes, I am aware of all these things and want to own a firearm, and then you get your firearm, you know that you shouldn't take it into scenarios where you might have to pull it out and use it. You should try to avoid needing to use it at all costs. It should be your last resort. And that's something in the paperwork you sign when you get your firearm. That you will, not use it as a first resort.
Clear stuff is still coming out about this as I am filming. Literally, as I am filming, this happened. There's no body cam footage yet, so I could be totally wrong. Totally possible, totally...
And no body cam footage is a crazy thing, because I think just like police officers now have them mandated, all ICE agents should be mandated to wear their body cams. In fact, their body cam should be like in this little holder during the night to charge, and then you set it in, it's charging, and as soon as you pull it out, it boots up and turns on. So by the time you're in your patrol car, that camera is just on. And maybe it has a bit of an extra bulky battery to keep it running all day, so you're not turning it on and off all the time, something like that. But yeah, I think that it should be you as the officer. You don't have the choice to turn off the body cam. You just pull it out, click it on your chest, and it's active. There is no, oh, I got to turn it on. Oh, I got to turn it off. Let me pause that or mute that. No, it's just always on. If something needs to be edited afterward for people's privacy, edit it afterward. It's very easy to go in, drag it into an editing software, and cut out certain audio chunks, or just put a bleep over it and redact it. Like, it's very easy to go back and do those things.
Possible. However, first impressions of watching the video at multiple angles, multiple times... Yeah, I think they just fucking murdered that guy. It looks like they took his...
Yeah, I think so. However, you gotta not do it at multiple angles. You have to decide in a second and a half. That's all you get, because that's all the time they got to understand this shooting. You gotta think about it in that perspective as well. That they only had a second and a half to when someone shouted, "Gun!" And all of a sudden, you're pulling out yours. You don't want to get shot. All the ICE agents are thinking is, I want to go home to my family after this is over.
Gun, and then shot him. Like 10 officers come over to him, wrestle him to the ground, the agent disarms him, take his gun, they yell gun, gun, gun.
And that disarming to gun, gun, gun is less than 2 seconds, honey.
And they shoot him several times in the back.
You didn't include that part.
But the compulsive bootlicking I have been seeing has been fucking insane.
Why does a nurse,
like I said, it's lawful but awful,
to go confront ICE armed with a 9mm handgun?
Only one person could have prevented this from happening, and it's Alex Preddy.
Yeah.
It is him. He could have prevented his own death by not stepping in there, not bringing his firearm into the scenario. I'm not saying, as an American, he should just be unarmed, because no, that's our Second Amendment right. However, if he was going into a scenario to be an agitator, maybe, just maybe, he should have taken an extra second and gone, maybe I shouldn't bring my firearm here.
Who goes to a protest and brings a gun?
That wasn't a protest. That was completely different. He was invited to come defend a business. He was a defender of a business. He was not a protester. In fact, he was what you would call a counter-protester. He would be, if some guys were standing there, woo, deport more, get him more ice, ice, get him. Yeah, he's that kind of guy. He's the guy who's standing on the sidelines cheering on ICE, hoping they get more. Not the guy protesting. It's the exact opposite scenario.
Take a firearm from you, and then kill you because you had a firearm.
And the other difference is Alex fought with the officers, and Kyle Rittenhouse surrendered.
Then nobody actually has a right
if
to
Alex
own a
had put his
firearm.
gun
If
up and
that is how it
surrendered,
works, then there's actually no such thing as the
he
Second
would be
Amendment.
alive.
The Second Amendment does not exist. I feel like some people genuinely just forget that police are just people. ICE officers are just people. They're literally just people who work for the government like anyone else. They're DMV employees with guns. They can be stupid. They can be bad. They can make
DMV?
mistakes. Like, I don't know what it is about some people. Like, once someone has a badge, it's like, that person is just a perfect angel and cannot be criticized at all. You're telling me...
I don't know. DMV agents with guns doesn't sound like the proper area. I don't think ICE agents have the ability to give someone a license to go drive a 2-ton killing machine into an ICE agent. Because that's essentially what DMV employees do. They give people a license to go buy a car, go buy a motorcycle, go buy large vehicles, maybe even get a CDL and drive a freaking truck.
All I have to do to get you fucking people to listen to me is to dress like this. Alright, fair enough. Stop gooning. None of this would have happened if ICE agents were being trained better instead of being rushed through the system with little to no training. And if Minnesota...
You can't pull that training one. Both the shooting of Renee Good and Alex Preddy were by an officer who has been there for over 8 years.
Just worked alongside ICE to make sure they were doing this in a safe,
Can't use that on
more
this one.
effective way instead of just egging on a fucking jihad against them. Also, if ICE's goal is to round up pedophiles and fraudsters, I hear there's a pretty big list of pedophiles and fraudsters that need to be rounded up. Unfortunately, we'll never fucking get to see it. I'm trying to...
Apparently all those names are black bars, and I think we've arrested enough black bar people. I thought we didn't want any more darks arrested, but we got all these names that are just blacked out, so that must mean one thing. We need to arrest all the black names.
Make this video somewhat funny and entertaining, but I'm not gonna lie, this is really bleak. Is America okay? Can we please go one single day without living through a major historical event, please? And a bunch of new Epstein files just dropped. Great. We're going to war with Iran soon, aren't we? Where was I?
3 million pages.
This just says Mr. Beast tendies. Oh yeah.
Oh my gosh. This is simulating a chicken's body and the cells are just multiplying. I honestly can't tell the difference. What the heck?
I will not live in a pod. I will
No.
not eat the Antichrist lab-grown
No.
chicken tendies. Oh, I completely
Give
forgot
me
about
real
this.
chicken tendies.
Sorry, I am not on my Vyvanse today, folks. I forgot to take my normal pills. It wasn't long before the race hustlers took advantage of the terrible Renee Good situation in Minneapolis.
Say Her Name is a movement started by black women, for black women specifically, and it's not appropriate to use in regards to Renee Good.
She deserves a hashtag and everything. It should not be Say Her Name. Say Her Name is reserved for black women.
Oh, so now you're being racist for 3 words. Okay. You're stealing words now. So stealing objects wasn't enough for the black community. Now they're stealing words.
This is not for any other race. Simple
They're
as
stealing a
Her
hashtag.
Name is specifically reserved for black women.
Say Her Name is for black women.
It feels kind of wrong being here in some way. I don't know why. Why?
Either let us give the Say Her Name tag to let her be the victim, or she's not a victim. You don't get it both ways.
I don't know.
I don't know why. That's called white guilt, honey. That's the white guilt you're feeling. It's amazing.
There is no
to literally
such
be
thing
told
as
by the
white
state
guilt.
for the-
White guilt does not exist. Because of white people, the slavery as you think it in your mind as an American, that is gone. That does not exist anymore thanks to white people. White people worked very hard across most of the world. Not all of it yet, because some countries are fucking degenerate and still have it. But for the old day slavery, we eliminated that as white people. So everybody who's not white should thank the white people for eliminating slavery as it was back then. We still have some forms of it today, and usually they're from Muslim countries, because I don't know why they have to oppress everyone.
The cause. And these fucking people will still disgrace you for the curse of being born Caucasian. This is very woke 1.0. I thought it was dark woke time.
Nobody forgetting Renee Good. She has achieved the highest honor of white.
And you know, I didn't come into this video expecting to debunk half the things Shu says in it with simple sentences and other facts that I can easily look up, pull up, or easily just go, yep, and you got that one wrong, and that one's wrong, and this is why we did that. But seriously, I have nearly doubled the length of this video. I am at 58 minutes on recording on a 34-minute video.
Achieved the highest honor a white person can achieve. Race traitor. And this type of psychotic rhetoric seems to be working, because like 70% of the videos I see of people like trying to disrupt ICE has been white women. White women literally throwing themselves at armed officers like lemmings off a fucking cliff for street tacos. What?
Yeah, outside of Alex Peretti, I have not seen a single video of someone obstructing ICE that is not either a very young college student or a middle-aged white woman. Middle-aged white women, go do something. Stop being so bored.
What the hell is going on with white women? Who will save the white race?
This group! Nah.
Yes, Hitler's strongest soldiers. A Mexican, a Dominican, a black guy, and a looks-maxer.
I gotta say, out of everybody in this photo, the one who looks most out of place is Nick Fuentes. Nick Fuentes looks the most out of place. He doesn't look like he doesn't belong. He looks like he does belong, but he's just out of place. There's just something about him. Oh, I see why. He dressed like Trump. He's got the red tie.
None other than Clavicular.
Clavicular.
Clavicular is a Gen Z influencer and live streamer who got his start within the niche red pill community.
By taking meth and smacking his face with a hammer.
And has recently blown up to mainstream popularity, especially in right-wing circles. His main claim to fame is looks-maxing. Looks-maxing, for those of you who are employed, is...
Looks-maxing is a term for aggressively maximizing one's physical attractiveness through routines like skincare, facial exercises, mewing, fitness, and sometimes extreme cosmetic procedures. Originating in online incel forums, but popularized on TikTok, focusing on enhancing features like jawline and bone structure.
I personally think it's interesting to see men adopting the insane beauty rituals that women have been doing for decades. But now that a man is seen as psychopathic or gay...
Well, that's because he's taking meth and smacking himself with a hammer.
A woman will literally spend thousands of dollars on hair, makeup, skincare, peptides, plastic surgery, fillers, Botox, red light therapy, moon water, and we just call her Stacy. But...
And then yet you didn't list the two things he did. Hammers and meth. Honey, he's not normal.
But a man does it, and we call...
Please do your research.
A woman reshapes her entire face with makeup? Normal. A man reshapes his jawline with makeup? Gay. A woman wears a push-up bra to make her tits look bigger? Empowering. A man...
Clavicular also ran someone over with his Cybertruck. Yes, the person was stalking him and being super aggressive and jumped onto the Cybertruck in itself, kind of. But he could have just reversed and, you know, had thrown him off maybe and, you know, only, you know, tossed him into the road and drove away.
Shoved socks in his shoes to make himself taller? A liar. A woman gets lip filler? Typical. A man smashes his face with a hammer to make his jaw swell up?
Okay, she is including that part.
That one's a little insane. One of the looks-maxing tips some young men are apparently doing is called bone smashing, where they take a hard object, usually a hammer, and smash the bones in their face to make their face temporarily swell up and allegedly give them that Chad jawline. Honestly,
this is stupid.
Don't knock it till you try it. Here we go.
Hit it again.
So that concludes this episode of the Hell...
Honey, you left out the meth. You forgot that Clavicular was using meth to looks max too.
World Report. If you liked
you
it,
forgot
please
that
subscribe
part.
And consider donating to my Patreon, link down below. It helps the channel and I appreciate it so much. If you don't want to do that, you can also put a little tip down in the tip jar somewhere over here somewhere.
Whoa. How did I advance that to double speed without touching the button?
Yeah, it's just gonna
I don't know. I must have just accidentally discovered a hotkey.
In the next Hell World
I'll have to explore later.
Be sure to send them to me on Twitter at ShoeOnHead. I will.
Yeah, that's enough of this one. She's just in her outro phase right now. It's been, what a year, huh, Captain? It's been January. It's not dead internet theory. It's Indian internet theory. That's a good one. I love skipping Shoes ads and then seeing her disappointed look right after. Amelia proved it was never about the hair color, but about having some intelligence. Yes! And that is where I'm going to leave this one. I hope you have enjoyed yourself. If you have, get subscribed if you're new around here. And thanks for sticking around all the way through this quite long reaction. I didn't expect to prove her wrong on so many points just right off the bat by information that frankly was available essentially after she recorded, or before she recorded this. So I don't know why she excluded half of it. Maybe because it doesn't help her side look as good. But, you know, like I said, there's a lot of scenarios in here that she's wrong on. There's some things that she's totally right on, and I actually agree with her on. But that is how a normal discussion should go. If you disagree with someone on some points, like she's a Dem, I'm not. Honestly, I only aligned with Republicans because as our country's two-party system goes, you either vote for this one, or your vote is fucking wasted, actually. Voting third party is an actual waste of a vote, and until something is done about the two-party system. Until then, once we actually get our first third-party winner, or we get more representation for it, you're wasting a vote by voting third party. Anyways, I'm going to end this video here. I hope you have enjoyed. If you did, you already know what to do. Hit the like, get subscribed, get on out of here, and have a good day.